you?
Yeah, Kirby, how's practice been so far this week?
Really good. Good.
Coach, how was Trevor Pelt practice this week? Did he have to wear any kind of extra protection to help the ribs?
He's been great. He did some extra conditioning, taking some reps. Been in a black shirt, but I mean he's toughing it out. But he'll still be, have to figure out all the things he can and can't do. Hard to say after the Monday practice. He didn't do much. He was still stiff and sore. Ran around a little bit, loosened up, and then he did some more stuff today. Took some reps.
So how much anticipation do you have over the first college football playoff rankings revealed tonight?
Not much. I mean, I'm going to do my Tuesday night routine. I don't think you can worry about it much. Certainly, whatever it is today, it won't be next week or the next week or the next week. So it's great energy and buzz for you guys and for fans, I guess. But every minute you spend worrying about that is one less that I'm worried about our team.
Yeah, Coach, Ole Miss has the best run defense in the SEC in terms of yards per game. What makes it so difficult to run the ball on them?
Big humans, large, fast humans, immovable objects with twist. They're fast and big. I mean, just you want to see a good defense, look at fast and big, and they got both.
Yeah, Kirby, we're going to talk to Mike Hill later. Just how have you seen him handle this season, I guess from a mental standpoint, just dealing with the injuries and maybe not having the season he hoped he would have coming in?
I don't know if I'd say that. I mean, I think he's had a great season. He's had tremendous work ethic. He had the best camp he's ever had. And there's value in that. We have 10, 15 NFL scouts at practice. We had that many out there today. We had that many out there in camp. So, I mean, the reps he's taken against really good players on our team, I think all that creates value for him. So, he's been really level-headed. He doesn't let things get him down. He's not real emotional. He doesn't take up the highs and lows. He's worked really hard to get healthy. And I still don't know that he's 100%, but he's much closer.
Totally just forgot my question.
Yeah, I remember mine. As far as Peanut goes, we saw him score that first touchdown the other day. Is he at the point where he's able to maybe take on more responsibility in the offense?
Yeah, I mean, he can do some more things. He's a bright kid. He's smart. He's really smart. He's 193 pounds or something. I mean, he's a kid that's getting better each and every day, and he's grown a lot. He wasn't here in the spring, so he didn't get to go through spring, and he hasn't played in that offense quite this style. So he's growing. What's crazy is you tell him something once, and he remembers it, and he does a good job with learning.
Kirby, how do you feel about your guys' ability to win against their pass catching weapons, and how do they compare to Texas, what Ole Miss has a wide out tight end?
Hard to compare. I don't like doing those comparisons because they're different offenses, different style offenses. They're both very talented, and Sark and Lane have a lot of history together, but you don't watch the two offenses and think they look the same. Different style, passing game. They have really good wideouts at Ole Miss. They've been through injuries, yet they've still continued to throw for lots of yards. I mean, they're one of the top, the top passing team in my mind in the country in terms of statistics, passing, throwing. They've done it with tight ends, they've done it with backs, and they've done it with wideouts. It doesn't matter who it is with Lane. He's going to plug somebody in there. They're going to figure out where your weaknesses are, find matchups, and look for coverages and find ways to beat those coverages. And they got a guy that can do it. I mean, this guy's playing uncanny football when you talk about the accuracy, the completion percentage, the yards he's throwing it for. He's not throwing dink and dunk passes now. This guy's throwing the ball vertical down the field, shots. And then when you do that, let's say you cover all that, and you do that, he can take off and run. I mean, you watch a quarterback run reel on this guy, and you don't have enough people in the box. So it's the reason they're successful is because of the scheme and the players that are in the scheme.
Coach, it seemed like there might have been even more punt return opportunities than you guys were able to take advantage of this past week. So, A, how do you feel like Malachi did in that first big job down there on the banks of the St. Johns River? And then, two, can Anthony get back to pick you back up there?
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a matter of whether Anthony's healthy enough to, and I think Malachi's going to do nothing but get better and get more confidence. He's done it before in his life. He hasn't done it in a game, so that game changed a little bit. We weren't asking him to do that at the point that they lost their quarterback. We got wind. We had a couple opportunities. We wanted to play safe on the punt return team and make sure we defended the fake. We didn't set up returns, so there were probably some yards there, but we were not asking him to do that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Daniel Harris. What did you make of his play against Florida?
He did some good things. He's got to tackle better, and he and Julio both had some situations there that they didn't get the guys on the ground. Got to do a better job tackling, and I don't grade him based on one flash play or one big play. It's more a cumulative effect of where his eyes are. Is he looking at the right things? Is he doing what he's supposed to do?
How do you guys feel about the depth at your wide receiver position at this point in the season?
I've told you 100,000 times. Y'all can ask me that question every day. We don't have enough depth at any position. I don't know one coach that will tell you, I got the greatest depth in the world. We're great there. I don't feel good about our depth. I don't feel great about our depth at snapper. I don't feel great about our depth at holder. I don't feel great about our depth at field goal protection. I don't feel good about our depth at wide receiver or anything, because I don't ever think you have enough to practice the way you need to practice.
Yeah, Coach, I've heard you in past mention throwing different pitches at quarterbacks, and I've heard you this week allude to, Lane's ability to know defensive coverages and understand schemes. Do you feel this week you almost have to pitch to the coordinator as well?
Well, when you're pitching to the quarterback, you are pitching to the coordinator. I mean, the coordinator and the quarterback. You're doing both because they see it. I mean, they can talk in the helmet deal. They're talking down to 15 seconds. So whatever you're giving the quarterback, you're giving the coordinator. And in some cases, the quarterback does all the control and checks it. And I'm sure they have the ability to do that. Jackson's played a lot of football. I mean, this guy's he can do it without them telling him. But that's what good coaches do. They try to figure out what you're in, and then they figure out how to attack it.
On the playoff rankings, I know you've been through it every year. You've been here since your second year, and it usually just kind of works itself out in the end. But the fact that it's 12 this year, does that color at all how you're going to look at it going forward?
I don't really know what you're referencing. I mean, am I looking at it like, I don't know what you mean. So.
Does it change at all your curiosity?
You don't look a little further down. I mean, you would look at 12 last year and figure out, does the 12th team have a shot to get to the fourth? What's got to happen for those teams to lose? Now you're looking at 20, 21, 22, the automatic qualifier, the who's got the best shot, and how are they going to perceive these teams, and what's going to change the perception. That's all the talk out there. I could care less, because what is a quality win and a quality loss right now, they've been known to change their mind before it comes time. And we've probably been a casualty of that, probably more than anybody in the country. So I don't put a lot of stake in it.
He's been a little banged up lately, but Trey Harris has made a lot of plays in this Ole Miss offense.
Mm-hmm.
What stands out to you about him and the challenge he presents?
Vertical speed, size. When you got somebody that big and that size, I mean, he can take a hitch and go to the house. He can take a post and go to the house. He is a dangerous player, and you see it on tape. It's amazing what they've done without this guy now. I mean, because they've been explosive, and we do those explosive plays and put it up on the chart of all the SEC teams every week, and it's like theirs is like a dang slot machine just going up, and they've done it with and without him, which is a credit to their offensive staff and their players.
Coach Tate was kind of thrown back in the fray pretty quick today. How did you come out of that feeling?
Sore. We had two guys really sore and hurting in there. Micah and Tate both were really tough guys. You can see on the tape, they pushed through some injuries and played with some great toughness.
Speaking of depth, you're talking about depth with Gunnar and Jaden. How are they developing? I don't know if we've heard you talk about the quarterbacks since maybe the preseason.
Yeah, they get work each and every week. We throw them in there and mix them in. They get reps. Ryan Puglisi gets reps. They come down sometimes and throw with us on the scouts to get even more work. I think every rep you can possibly get right now, you're just like, how many times can I get a quarterback to go back there and have to make a decision and grow as a player? And I like to take pride in getting more quarterback development than anybody because we dedicate reps to threes every day. We're going to do something with our threes, and not everybody's willing to do that because you can make a case it's wasted time, meaning it's not going to affect that week's game because you're not going to get to your threes. But we're constantly looking at it saying, okay, this is the future of our program. What do we have? Who can play? Who can't? But both those kids and Ryan in that same group do a great job. They sit in meetings, take notes, and continue to be ready. I mean, look at Florida. You just don't know.
Coach, I hope you can kind of have fun with this because it is such a big week football-wise. But a fan was asking about, and I thought it was a good question. You're a visor guy, and you're pretty rough on your visors, especially during the games. I'm sure you are in practice too. So, just a general question, like how many of those do you go through? Obviously, your white one matches very well with your white sleeves and black today. You pick them out. Kind of what's the process, if you could just shed a little light on that?
No process. It's whatever they give me. So for the game, they put one down there and I wear it, and then I take it off after the game. The next game, there's another one there. There's 2 or 3 sitting in my office, and I just get one before I go to practice. I don't waste a lot of energy on things like that, Chip. Sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah, on Saturday after Nate had his penalty, it looked like Jared got a chance to talk to him a little bit before you got to him. How would you assess how this team is doing in terms of player-led leadership and leading with players first?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had player-led teams since I've been here. The degree of which that is might vary, but I've been very pleased with the player leadership of this team, and I meet with those guys on a regular basis, and they hold each other accountable, which is probably the most important thing, and they try to hold other players to the standard. And look, Nate made a mistake. He's not a bad kid. He's a good kid. He made an emotional mistake. He knows that, and his players, his brothers, let him know that, and I think that's important.
Anyone else have another question for Coach? All right, thank you.